The Office of Chief Electoral Officer of Maharashtra is an office functioning under the Election Commission of India. Though the most important feature of this office is to ensure free and fair parliamentary and legislative elections in Maharashtra, in order to make these elections inclusive, peaceful, and more participatory, the Election Commission of India has started SVEEP, that is Systematic Voter Education and Electoral Participation Program since year 2009. Under this SVEEP program, the Office of Chief Electoral Officer organized some out-of-the-box activities this year for creating voter awareness. One of such activity was establishment of think tank. A think tank is group consisting of intellectuals from various parts of Maharashtra was formed in order to determine the state-level objectives and policies of the SVEEP program. This think tank assists in formulating the policies and initiative to increase the confidence and trust of the voters in the democratic system. The think tank mainly consists of around 100 eminent persons from various fields including scholars, writers, poets, painters, journalists, political analysts, administrators and social activists. Democracy Talk or Lokashahi Gappa is another prominent initiative of SVEEP program. 4 seminars and a webinar were organized under the initiative between September to March. The first in the series of Democracy Talk or Lokashahi Gappa was jointly organized with Savitribai Phule Pune University on the occasion of Education Day. The seminar was well attended with questions being actively asked by students such as what is democratic process, what to do to participate in it, etc. And the dignitaries present gave spontaneous answers to the queries. Teachers who have worked for facilitating and strengthening the democracy were honored on this occasion. The second series of Democracy Talk or Lokashahi Gappa was on the democracy and the role of the media. The seminar discussed how the media plays its role in making democracy healthy and what more responsibility it should assume. The third series of Democracy Talk or Lokashahi Gappa was the webinar. How voter registration is done was the topic of this dialogue. This initiative was organized on the occasion of SSR, that is Special Summary Revision Program. The election officials participating in the seminar answered the question raised by the voters regarding voter registration process and the difficulties faced during the process. The fourth seminar was organized at the 94th All India Marathi Literary Convention, that is Akhil Bharatiya Marathi Sahitya Sammelan in Nashik. This was the first such participation of the Office of Chief Electoral Officer in this literary feast. The seminar named Writer's Language and the Democracy discussed the role of an author in strengthening democracy and an author's freedom of expression. A voter awareness stall was also set up during the 3-day All India Marathi Literary Convention. Voter awareness booklets and various informative reports of Election Commission were displayed in this stall. In this interesting initiative, games such as Snakes and Ladders, Ludo based on the right to vote and the electoral process were the center of attraction. Along with the common people, students from many schools and colleges in Nashik visited this stall in large number. The fifth seminar was on topic Women and Democracy, which was held on World Women's Day at Alibag. A woman's problem is never her problem alone, it's a problem of entire community, and therefore women and men both were invited to speak on the occasion. The students from Alibag's many schools attended the seminar. Various games based on democracy too were organized on the occasion, which helped the children understand the electoral and voting process. Online competition were another significant feature of the SVEEP program. Maharashtra cherishes the tradition of celebrating Ganeshotsav, which was started in the pre-independence era for social awakening. A household Ganeshotsav decoration competition was organized as a part of this celebration. In the democratic process of our country, women constitute half the population of the country and forms the backbone of the family. If something good and worthy reaches to a woman in the family, it never stays limited to her. She involves and includes the whole family in it. Considering this very unique attribute of women, this year during Navratri, an innovative Lokashahi Bhondla, that is Bhondla based on democracy competition, was organized to create awareness about voting. Usually in Bhondla songs, maternal house of a girl is linked with the happiness, while the in-laws house is linked with hardship. Working on the same lines, cooperative lyrics composition symbolic of democracy versus autocracy were created in place of maternal versus in-laws house respectively. Beside this, considering the independent personality of a modern woman, we received a large number of lyrics and compositions on how a woman should be aware of her right to vote and how to choose a people's representative who gives priority to the development of the village or country, etc. The third contest was Diwali and the idea of democracy. Diwali has a unique significance in Indian culture. The special summary revision program and the electoral list have the same significance in the Indian election. We celebrated Diwali in November 2021 and it was a time for special summary revision program too. Lokashahi Diwali, that is Lokshahi and the idea of democracy competition, was organized on this occasion. Considering that the voter registration is the first step towards the vibrant democracy, the decoration material for lanterns and rangoli was sent for the competition. Equality is the most important values of Constitution of India. To mark it this year on the occasion of International Women's Day, experience writing essay was organized. The topic was Kashasati Linga Bhav Samatesati, that is for what? For gender equality. Patriarchy is not only a deterrent to women progress, it equally harms the transgenders in the society, thus making the man himself a lowly human being. Keeping this in mind, the women, men and transgenders were appealed to come forth and take part in competition and make people aware of the struggles. Another highlight of this year's SVEEP initiative is special campaign for the transgenders voter registration. Officials from the Office of Chief Electoral Officer visited the residence of the transgenders and held meetings in the offices of representative of the organizations working for the transgenders to understand the difficulties they faced with the voter registration documents. A seminar was also jointly organized by Mumbai District AIDS Control Society and Maharashtra State AIDS Control Society to address this issue. As a result, a large number of transgender citizens registered for this year's special summary revision program. The Electoral Literacy Club in schools and colleges is another important platform for the future citizen so that they become informed and aware voters. Accordingly, responding to the appeal made by the Office of the Chief Electoral Officer, circulars were issued by the Department of School Education and Sports and Department of Higher and Technical Education for the establishment of the Electoral Literacy Club in all schools, junior colleges and agricultural as well as non-agricultural universities and their affiliated colleges. The Chief Electoral Officer's Office has also developed a 1 credit course and 2 credit course focusing on the electoral process, voter awareness and democracy. One such credit course will start from the coming academic year in Savitribai Phule Pune University. The Office of the Chief Electoral Officer is making all efforts to introduce this course in other universities as well. In order to encourage schools, colleges, universities, government and private establishment and political parties in Maharashtra to celebrate National Voters' Day on a large scale, a notification to the effect was issued. Also, in order to include young voters in the National Voters' Day celebration, the District Election Office and Voter Registration Office held various programs in the schools and colleges in their jurisdiction. The Office of Chief Electoral Officer, in collaboration with Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, celebrated the National Voters' Day at Aurangabad. On this occasion, various galleries depicting voting and voter awareness ideas were made. Besides this, selfie points and games reflecting voting process were also made at the galleries. Various competitions were also held on the occasion, through which Lokashahi Vriksha, that is Tree of Democracy, and Lokashahi Wall, that is Wall of Democracy, were decorated. A place to vote was administered and a few select voters were given their identity cards. Similarly, election officers and officers who have done exceptional work for voter awareness and registration were awarded on this occasion. The winners of the state level competition too were announced on this occasion. The main attraction of this event was the book release of Lokashahi Samjun Ghetana, that is Understanding the Democracy, edited by Dr. Deepak Pawar. The book has been published by the Office of Chief Election Officer. The book is a compilation of 33 reviews of various writers about work undertaken to understand the various establishments in the society. Several writers of these reviews were invited and an informal interaction session was organized here. Besides this, the Kindle edition of the book was also released. The discussion also shaped further program actions. Considering the importance of the Valentine Day holds in the lives of young generation today, a parody of famous Marathi poem प्रेम म्हणजे प्रेम असतं, तुमचं आणि आमचं सेम असतं. दॅट इज लव्ह इज आफ्टर ऑल लव्ह, इट इज द सेम फॉर यू अँड मी, रिटन बाय मंगेश पाडगावकर, वॉज डन. द वर्ड्स वेर इन्स्टेड, मतदान म्हणजे मतदान असतं, तुमच्या आमच्यासाठी संविधानाचं वरदान असतं. दॅट इज वोटिंग आफ्टर ऑल, इट इज अ गिफ्ट ऑफ अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन फॉर यू अँड मी. A short audio-visual film using this parody was released on the various social platforms. This is just the beginning to reach out the voters in an innovative, out-of-the-box, non-government way. The Chief Electoral Office will continue its efforts and hold several such innovative initiatives to educate and motivate the voters in all walks of the life.